Beats Ron right away. He's all over it. Still not eligible to win. Fan of the week. Pete won fan of the week because I got him tires. He's good for like all year now, as far as being fan of the week, right? Why would he want a ball cap when he got tires? Finally wet in Calgary. Yeah, it's headed this way. That's a big storm coming down. They're getting snow in the mountains up in around Glacier and stuff. Happy hour and Taco Tuesday. Can't go wrong there. Shane, that could be so dirty. Like, is that your username? Finally wet in Calgary. Like, sorry. Thanks, Dave.
Just want to get it out of the way.
What a dick. Where's JP? Some rain in Montana. People are talking about. Not in Billings yet. 8 drops today. Oh, you don't have that camera on today. You can say it out loud. We're informal here. Oh, watching up. Ooh, good one today. You know what's happening? It's starting to get dark a little earlier. It was miserable today. Dark. I went for a run today. I know. Yeah. All of a sudden, it got really dark. I went for a run this morning. That was brilliant. Feel like a smoker. I just as well have been running with a cigarette in my mouth. Like, oh my God. Here in Laurel, we're getting rain. What? Is it raining? We're going to find out if you're lying. I don't know if it's rain or smoke. It's a new game we play, rain or smoke. Nice shirt. Good evening. Too cold for Tuesday night softball. It is cold. Hello from Kurt gives his location look at that. That's awesome. You're such a weirdo. Kurt Blake is a weirdo for those. However, the whole gang here is stuck on bourbon now. Not me. Look. Water for me. I don't know. I'm trying to be a good example to all the kiddos out there. That's all there is to it. Look at what were we just talking about? Corpus Christi, dry in Corpus Christi. Oh yeah, the humidity's only 87%. They're just hang your clothes out. Oh, pretty good. Now everybody's talking about how much rain. Wait, that's good. Look at Lindsay. Y'all, if you're not watching the According Flint podcast, you were missing out. Lindsay messaged me today. Listened to the one with my girls. Said it was the best ever. That's a good one. Got a new one coming out. We'll talk about that. Welcome, everybody, by the way. Coming off a big weekend in Little Rock, Arkansas. Welcome. Welcome to Smoky South Central. Technically, we're not even really Eastern Montana. To the people in Missoula, we're way Eastern Montana. Welcome to Billings, Montana. East Laurel, where the smoke is thick, the rain is trying, the heat is dissipating, whatever. But it is Tuesday night, which means it's time. What's the clock on the wall say? That's right, 7 o'clock. It is, According to Flint, live. Oh, welcome everybody. It's supposed to rain in Montana, as a matter of fact. So I get a message today at 5 o'clock. I looked, it was like 5 minutes to 5 here in Montana. And my mom texted me. Tootie, she's probably watching, I would guess. I didn't look, but she's watching, probably on the porch. No, it's actually too cold for the porch. It was at 5 o'clock in Choteau, Montana, 4.5 hours northwest of here. It was 49 degrees. And in Billings, it was 91 at 5 minutes to 5. That's Montana. It's so weird. So some parts of Montana are getting rain and cold right now. Some of us are supposed to get it. It's supposed to roll in here tonight. Look out. Bozeman just had a freak windstorm. No power in some parts of Bozeman. Just heard that. Los Angeles. Supposed to start raining there about midnight tonight. So hopefully everybody do a little rain prayer, rain dance. I think it's raining and snowing in the mountains up by Glacier Park. So we'll take it. We'll take it all right now because I love summer. I love sitting out on my little patio. I love being outside, but I'm tired of smoke and 100 degrees. I landed yesterday from Little Rock, Arkansas. I landed in Billings at 1:30 in the afternoon. It was 101 here. That's, you know what that is? That's stupid. That's not much you could do. So anyway, everybody's saying, I go for 49, sick of the heat. Heat index 105 here today. We know. We got it all, man. Rain for the next 4 days. Supposed to rain. But the thing is, Billings, it says like 50%. What does that mean? Like Bozeman's like 80%. So we'll see. Rob, you always jump the gun on fictional cowboys. And last week it was songs about cities. Rob, I see you. You're the only one that does that. I got it. Actually, that's one on my list too. That's a good answer. But you're always, I know, you're one of those guys that's got to say the answer. Yeah, I know. It was a good weekend in Little Rock. Matter of fact, a few things to talk about. It is time for my making Logan wait. Weekend recap. It's Robert, the guy from North Korea. I like that. Okay, I would also like everybody, I see what this would be salty alert. Salty alert. I see what it's doing. I know somebody said, don't complain of the heat. I live in Vegas. I know it's hotter in Vegas. I was in Little Rock last weekend. It was actually hotter in Billings, but you sweat more in Little Rock. So I know there's other parts of the country where it's hot. The thing is, up here in Montana, what we're really sick of is the fact it's been 100 degrees for 2 months and the whole state is on fire and our neighboring states are on fire and we're tired of the smoke. We may get a whole bunch of rain this week, but it's not going to help if the states next to us don't get rain because we're still going to get the smoke. So anyway, we're just really tired of smoke and heat. So just give us a break. Yeah, smoke and heat. Don't get that on Yellowstone, just like I said on my little video yesterday. Good weekend in Little Rock, Arkansas. Always good crowds. I said it to the people there. Not ever the biggest crowds, but great. Real passionate about what they're seeing. They have a lot of fun. They sing and dance. They party. They cut their sleeves off. They wear bib overalls. I mean, they're literally the one guy in the one contest, his name was Bubba. No kidding. Night number one, we had one crowd giveaway quiz thing, and his name was Bubba. What says Arkansas? Like a guy named Bubba. I cracked out my Arkansas uniform, the red plaid sleeveless with the camo shorts. Oh, yeah, fit right in Arkansas. Congratulations. Wow, look, a Brazilian who rides really well that you've possibly never heard of. Imagine that. Rafael Enrique dos Santos. How did I do? Rafael Enrique dos Santos. He was our winner this weekend in Little Rock, Arkansas. Congratulations to him. Real sincere, nice guy, though. He was really emotional about it, real classy, of course, as most of those guys are. Gets his first ever UTB win. That is Unleash the Beast, by the way. But in second, Chase Doherty. Chase Doherty, who now lives in Stephenville, Texas, originally from Canby, Oregon, rodeoed for a semester or a year at Montana State University. That guy is chipping away, and he just is, he's all of a sudden in the top 10 and having fun. If you don't know Chase Doherty, great picture of Chase Doherty that was on the PBR website. That's Chase. And he's laughing because he has this little thing that he just shrugs his shoulders to the crowd like, are you going to clap for me? It's pretty cool. And so I was giving him a bad time about that, and he was laughing. He and I were laughing back and forth. But that is true. When you see a guy doing that, a guy like Chase Doherty with that kind of smile, that's when you know a great young bull rider is making his way into the top 10 because he's rolling. His wife's about to have a baby, so he's winning money. We don't talk money all that much. It's because winning a world title in the PBR is about points. It's not about money. But I know Enrique DeSantos won about $25,000. Chase Doherty, total money this past week, won $18,000. I mean, that's a guy who's got a young wife, going to have a baby. That's good stuff, man. Somebody just asked, I'll look at questions, if Marco Aguchi is still riding. I think Marco is hurt. Marco broke his foot in Sacramento. So Marco has been riding, but he broke his foot. Kevin asked that question. So he was out this week. I don't know how long he's out. Anyway, yes, Marco's around. So congratulations to those guys. This coming weekend, headed to one of our favorite cities ever. And I know we love a lot of cities, but you can't deny what a great city Nashville is. Logan, you were just there. I should have got an update. Our man Logan, who's not afraid to crawl under the table and fix stuff once in a while. How is Nashville hopping? Like big time, like it's crazy. Have you ever been to Nashville though? Oh my God. On Broadway. And it's hot. You damn right it's hot. When I think it was Shelby, not Paige, I think it was Shelby when she was little. She went to Nashville with me in August one year. And it was when the Big Green Egg cookers were a sponsor. Remember the Big Green Eggs? And they had a cooking contest with riders, and it was under a little tent outside in front of the arena. And you know the gauge on a grill where it shows how hot your barbecue grill is? They had one sitting there on a display, and the gauge was up at 110 degrees. It was so hot and humid, but they call it Nash Vegas. Tell me this, because I know I'll see them. The pedal bars, the girls pedaling the bars, singing, hate them. Oh, a guy fell off one of the buses and got run over? How is he? Broke both his legs, but finished the night. Kept partying. But finished the night at Tootsie's. It was great. Nashville's crazy, but it is, even at night, at the end of the night, nobody's going to be real fresh. At the end of the night, things are a little musty at the end of the night when you're in Nashville. Nashville's great. So, is it going to be on CBS this weekend? All the Unleash the Beast events are on CBS Sports Network or CBS. The 15:15, and we have a 15:15 Saturday night, will air on actual CBS, network CBS, on Sunday, next day air. What we've been having, and for us in the live production, it's a lot of work. It makes for a long night on Saturday nights when we have the long round, the whole first go round is live on CBS Sports Network. We take an intermission, then do a CBS taped show for CBS. That's a lot of work. That's why you've been having, when people are talking about why can't I find it on the Ride Pass on Pluto, is because it's live on TV, and those TV contracts and TV agreements, we can't show it live streaming if it's live on CBS Sports Network. Ultimately, I've said it last week, the thing we want is to be live on network television. I mean, that's the ultimate goal of every sport, is to be live on network television, and we are doing that. So, so yes, it will be. Speaking of the 15:15, the thing I'm looking forward to is in the 15:15, Jose Vitor Leme, for the first time ever, draws Cord McCoy's Great Bull riding solo. Top 2 or 3 for world champion Bucking Bull. That will be a good one. Oh my, I think my comments stopped. Unless people just quit asking questions. Are they done? However, Kevin Lyons' question, is it going to be on CBS this weekend, is the last question I got. So maybe they're done. Are you? No? Oh, okay. So what do you think I got to do to get them to? Okay, we'll get to that. So, Jose Vitor Leme on riding solo in the 15:15. For the last 2 weeks now, Jose Vitor Leme has been sitting on 16 90-point rides for the season. And that's that's tied with the record. What'd you do? You refreshed it. Unlike what you do at the end of the night in Nashville. Refresh it. So he's sitting at 16, which is tied with Cody Hart for the most 90-point rides in a season. And he needs one more. He's been stuck there. The crowd boos every time he's not 90. I'm saying this weekend he breaks it. Somebody just asked, Dominic says, how many 90-point rides does Lemmy finish the year with? Are we going to count the World Finals? I'll go, I'm going to go 24 with the finals. Wait, that might not be enough. Okay, write it down. I'm going Jose Vitor Leme finishes the year 26. 26. You're going 27? I'm going 26. It'll be great. So, by the way, speaking of what's coming up, Dustin Jenkins says 28. I'm going 26. Do I think Jess will be back for Fort Worth? I don't know. I'll have to ask Jess. He's making sure. Jess Lockwood, the feel I'm getting is he knows he can't win a world title this year, so there's no use coming back early and re-injuring himself. He wants to give himself time, make a run, and then go to the PBR World Finals. Why don't you come to Stampede anymore? I'm assuming you mean the Calgary Stampede. 2 reasons. 2 reasons. Number 1, they had no American workers up there this year. Number 2, after 2019, they made a change. Like, we have to get hired. I did it for about 21 years, and they made a change. I'm not going to Calgary anymore. We don't just show up. Well, PBR I kind of do. I have to. So, by the way, speaking of what he's going to end with, next 3 events. Let's check the schedule. I won't give you the entire schedule, but here's the next 3 PBR Unleash the Beast events. Yes, I know. So go to PBR.com, as we say every week. Check out schedule. You can get the Velocity Tour, Touring Pro events that are out there. I go to the Unleash the Beast. These are the ones always on CBS, always on TV. This weekend, Nashville, Tennessee, Saturday, Sunday. The next week, Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas, August 28th, 29th. And then the weekend after Labor Day, Anaheim, California, Friday night, Saturday night, Honda Center. Crossing our fingers. Crossing our fingers. Hey, there was a preseason NFL game, LA Rams. First time they've ever had people in that stadium, that multi-billion-dollar stadium. Good crowd. Good crowd there. So we'll see. Shoot them up. Seeing now, though, they're saying the natural immunity from already having it is like 6 times better than getting a vaccine. You're welcome. Told you. Oh, let's see. So there's a schedule. Let's take a quick look. Who's there? Somebody's with Marcus. They say 25. Let's see. Finals in Vegas. I know, Jimmy, I hope it's all good. I'm confident that this little surge is going to quickly deteriorate. Yes. There was crowd at the Lakers-Clippers games. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. And the Rams had multiple fights in the parking lot. Always keeping it classy. Yeah. Have I ever done the Canadian PBR, Jane? I did the Canadian PBR finals in City of Bridges, Saskatoon. I did the Canadian finals rodeo 3 times, 2. 21 90-point rides, Jared says. Ute Stampede is, that's in Nephi, Utah. I did that too, long time. You have to be vaxxed to go maskless at Raider game. Okay, Jim, I thought I read you have to be vaxxed just to get in a Raiders game. And that has nothing to do with COVID, just it has to do with the demographic that goes to Raiders game. Got to be virus-free to get into a Raiders. I want to go to a Raiders game because I might know a guy that has a suite. So I want to go check out the stadium. So, you guys, we good? Should we go film an episode there and just do, according to Flint, an NFL game? Yeah, we can do that. My gosh. So what did I say? 26. Remember that. Let's go with that. Yeah, I'm not going to second guess myself. I'm just, you have to show your card to get in. Otherwise, you can't. Sounds familiar. I'm not going to get into all that. No, they open a can of worms. I know, Jimmy. I'm with you. All right. Which brings me, I'm not going to get into that. I'm covering them up now. It is time for that popular segment called I'll Say This. Okay, I have a couple little I'll Say This segments today. And keeping it positive. I know, weird, huh? No salty, all keeping it positive. See, now you're asking me what, look at, now T-Mobile will follow. What's this mean for the finals? How the hell do I know? I'm not the governor of Nevada, although if I was, you wouldn't have to get vaccinated. I have no idea. We have not heard anything about any of the places we're going. So far, so good. So far, full steam ahead. That might have been a football stadium decision. So I have no idea. Chris, not drinking tonight, Flint? Yes, I am. Hydrating. I went running today, and I didn't drink enough water, so I need to drink some water. Okay, a couple segments of I'll Say This. I'm going to keep it positive in the I'll Say This. First of all, after the show in Little Rock on Saturday night, everybody kind of gathered in the hotel lobby, which happens a lot. There was a little bar in the hotel lobby, the Courtyard, there on Bill Clinton Avenue in Little Rock, where you fly into the Bill and Hillary Clinton Airport. And I think a lot of people have an image of what nightlife might be like for after a PBR for riders and some of us. And basically every rider, every contract person, every PBR person, worker was in the lobby of the Courtyard Hotel. And so I think for one, that takes away one image of what people picture us doing after an event. But it was Brazilian riders, American riders. Everybody was there. They pulled their chairs in. The couple of the people working at the little bar brought ice tubs with beer for the guys out. I mean, they were paid for, but at 12 o'clock at midnight Saturday night, Ezekiel Mitchell, popular rider, jumped up on the kind of the coffee table in amongst the couches, and he said, "Attention, please." And everybody just went quiet. He said, "Two of our greatest bull riders that we have as of midnight are celebrating their birthdays." It was as of midnight, Boudreaux Campbell and world champion Jose Vitor Leme's birthday. And the entire lobby of the hotel, every rider, every wife, all the girlfriends, everybody sang those two happy birthday at midnight. And they got up out of their chairs and stood arm in arm. And that's the cool stuff that I'll say this. That's the cool stuff that people don't see that goes on in the PBR. There you go. That's the next day. Boudreaux Campbell, Jose Vitor Leme riding on their birthday. That's on Sunday. And the night before, they gave each other hugs, stood arm in arm while every rider and all the staff sang them happy birthday at midnight in the lobby of the hotel. Then I went to bed, slept for an hour and a half, and at 2 a.m., the fire alarm in the hotel went off. Beep, beep. Please exit. Please. There is an emergency associated with fire. Please exit. Do not use the elevator. I was sleeping so hard that her voice was in my dream, which was the most pleasant female voice I've had in my dreams for a long time. But, of course, that's like a irregular thing. Anyway, so which leads me to my next, this is the I'll Say This that came about today that I'd like to share with you. A Billings, I'll say this. I went for a run this morning. I mentioned this early, and it was pretty hot and really smoky. I had a little trouble getting air. Probably wasn't the most healthy thing to do, but I kind of wanted to get out and blow the pipes out a little bit. And I ran down. I ran a mile and a half down. I walked a half mile, then I ran a mile and a half. I went to the intersection of Grand and Shiloh before I turned around. I was heading back towards my place to the south in Billings along Shiloh. If you're in Billings, you might know where that is. And there was a young kid coming up the trail. There's a paved path on his bike. And as I got close, I just kind of waved to him because I couldn't really function because I was trying to suck air through the smoke. And he said, "Excuse me, sir." And he stepped down and stopped his bike. He's a little kid. He had jeans and a T-shirt on and a ball cap. He goes, "Could you please tell me where Grand and Shiloh might be?" I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "About a quarter mile there. See that big intersection where the gas station is? This road's Shiloh. That road's Grand." I was explaining to him where that intersection is Grand and Shiloh. I said, "Can I help you find something? What are you looking for there?" He goes, "No, I wanted to go for a bike ride, and my grandpa said, ride to Grand and Shiloh and turn around and come back." I said, "Well, you stay on this path, and you ride up there and turn around just like I did, and you'll be good." He said, "Thank you, sir." And I took off running, and he went the other way. And I kind of forgot about it. I was thinking what a nice little kid he was. I was just about done with my run to turn into my place where I live. And he said, "Excuse me." It was the same little kid coming back. And he stopped his bike. He said, "I got turned around, and that was a good ride." I said, "You found Grand and Shiloh?" "Yep." I said, "Well, from this spot, it's 1.5 miles. So you went up and back, and that's 3 miles." He said, "Yeah, and I live at this housing development." I knew where it was. I said, "You're going to get a good 5 or 6 miles in today." "Really?" And I high-fived him. "Good job, man." And he got all sweaty because I was so sweaty. I said, "Good job." He said, "Yeah, I got some riding in this morning too. And you know what? I do push-ups and sit-ups at home to stay in shape." I said, "Good for you." I said, "How old are you?" He said, "I'm 11. He had his little bike. And I said, "Well, good for you. I mean, you're out riding your bike. That's great. Keep it up, okay?" And we high-fived again. And as I jogged away, he said, "Excuse me, sir." And I was about 20 yards away. I said, "Yeah." He said, "You have a good rest of your day, okay? Thank you." And he rode his bike off. So that just made my day. That made my day. So it got me thinking, if you get off of a lot of social media, you get off some of the news where they're trying to really sell divisiveness, really, when you really take the time, no matter what color you are, what age you are, what gender you are, what socioeconomic status you are, I'll say this. Overall, people are good. You know that? We're sold that people aren't good. They show fights in stadiums and riots in cities, but overall, the majority of people are good. And that little, I wish I knew his name, because that little 11-year-old kid made my day. So people are good. He was a great kid. So, hey, so I'll say this. My day was made. Keeping it positive. Hey, don't forget, NFR giveaway. We posted it this week. Check it out. Here is the info. I think, do we have the graph? There you go. FlintRasmussen.com/trip to Vegas. We had a couple comments on social media that people were having trouble getting it processed. We went through and did it, and it's a lot of, we have a lot of entrants, don't we? A lot of people entered. So it's 2 nights. You get 2 nights in virgin hotels. You got to be a virgin, though. You got to be a virgin. So most of you are excluded. Yeah, it used to be the Hard Rock. It's now Virgin Hotels, which is doing very well. They're having a lot of NFR activities there. RMEF doing some stuff there, right here. So tickets to the rodeo, 2 nights or 1? December 8th. 2 tickets to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. You get VIP seats and backstage and whatever you want at my show. Anything else? Gift bags. Well, you know what? It's swaggied up. We're swaggy teeing it all the way. It is a great NFR ticket package, complete package giveaway, compliments of us here at According to Flint and the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation playing a big role in that. So check it out, FlintRasmussen.com/trip to Vegas. Don't want to miss out. Lots of entrants so far. We will announce the winner by the end of this month, correct? 31st on this show is the last day of August. I didn't know how Tuesday fell. Tuesday, August 31st, we'll announce the winner to that Wrangler National Finals Rodeo experience in Las Vegas. Great times. And don't ask me what they're going to do about masks. And I have no idea. So it's all going to be good. Everything's going to be good by that time in Vegas. I'm telling you, by the end of October, the only word, we won't even know what COVID is. Psh, we might know what the Taliban are, but we're not going to see. Notice I haven't brought that up. I did now. Sorry. So check that out. Thanks to everybody for making that happen. Hey, also, new podcast this week. Thank you for all the support on the latest Dusty Tuckness podcast. Getting a lot of good feedback there. We're pretty proud of what we're pumping out here on podcasts. I think we're pretty happy with the guests we've had. We've had some interesting people. Speaking of great guests, available this coming Thursday morning, 2 days, a special podcast. That's right. It is South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. Now, we recorded it before any of this last weekend happened. So we're not talking politics of Afghanistan, none of that. More of a talk. You know, you can talk to politicians without really getting political. That's possible. And this, I would say that we succeeded in that with her. Governor Kristi Noem is a great lady. And speaking of politics and government and the role of government, had a chance to ask her that very question. Here I am with the great Governor Kristi Noem. What is the role of government? Because I felt like it changed. I just didn't. And even my goal here today is not to get real political, but I think there's a deep-rooted, what do you believe your role of government is? And to me, it isn't, listen, I got it. Just give me the facts of what's going on. It's not your job really to protect me. What if I fall down and break my leg? Is that your fault as well? Right. I mean, there's all those little analogies. Yep. You got to generalize as just a person. If I say to you, what really is, Constitution aside, official verbiage aside, what do you think the role of government is? Your generalization.
To stay out of the way. I think it really is to stay out of the way, to fill the role that it's supposed to fill, but very, very limited. And so many times I see people thinking the government should step in and do something that people or in private business or somebody else should be doing, and asking the government to do more and more. But the problem is that the government continuously grows, and those decisions are made away from people and away from families without their best interests in mind. So I think my job is consistently to stand up and to keep educating people on what the role of government should be, that it's incredibly limited. The federal government has an even smaller role than state government does, and the best decisions are made locally. So if you can make those decisions as close to the people as possible, that's where it can be more responsive to what people want or what they really do need in their way of life.
You guys giving me crap about dressing up. Yeah, I wore the denim shirt. Sleeves are all, I will guarantee you, though, she might have been remote, but I smelled good. I'll tell you. She had a great setup. We can say this about doing that. She was so easy to work with. And I would say Governor Noem and I are friends. And I just messaged her. That was it. That was all. I messaged her and she put me in touch with her communications people. And we went a little longer than we were supposed to. And this podcast, not as long. We've been an hour on it. What are we, 36 minutes? They gave us a half hour. And we visited for 5 or 6 minutes before we started. Stayed after. And the guy was texting us, you got to wrap this up. No, we do not. But it was, I thought the length was perfect. I thought it was. So, like I said, a lot of that kind of a discussion really didn't get into one side of politics or the other. Talked about the Western sports world with rodeo, why people, she's very involved with rodeo. She had been to Sturgis the day before that. So I think it's a real entertaining and educational thing on her history of running for office, what pushed her into office. It was good. She was really great. So anyway, there you go. It's Thursday. Be watching for all the links right here. Flint the future lieutenant governor, myself. I have no idea. And yes, she's a nice looking lady, but more than that, she's a great lady. So I know people are going to make comments. Oh yeah, Flint. No, when you're talking to her, she's a professional. She's cool. So, as always, we talked about them earlier. Our NFR trip to Vegas, sponsored a lot. A lot of that brought to you by Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. RMEF, many of you have asked what RMEF is up on the screen. That's our friends at the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. Proud to bring the Western lifestyle and outdoor enthusiasts together for conservation projects, enhancing elk habitat and ensuring the future of America's hunting heritage. Check out rmef.org for more information. Here's a message from our friends at the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
It's a time-honored tradition, passed down from generations. And even though we don't know what tomorrow holds, we can do our part today to ensure the future of elk, other wildlife, their habitat, and our hunting heritage. Join today and help us ensure the future.
Oh. Oh, hey, I was just looking at messages if I needed to refresh it again. You think it's, oh, yeah, we're good. Thanks. You just touched it, and it was good. That's what she said. Hey, Cooper Tire Fan of the Week this week. We were rolling last week. Bo, you missed out last week. Songs that had to do with cities. It was fun. We were singing. Oh, it was good. So we tried to stay on that. Thanks to my friend Casey Ackerman, Team Cooper Tire, for floating out good ideas. We wanted to stay on the Cowboys theme. Greatest fictional cowboy. How about one that wins the Super Bowl? Oh! Fictional cowboy characters. We're talking book, literature, TV, movies, some great responses. Some good ones. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The Man with No Name. Clint Eastwood. There's one. The Lone Ranger. What about, you know what there wasn't much of? There was Festus from Gunsmoke, but not Matt Dillon. Like, that's the guy. James Arness. That's the guy. There was a John Dutton. No, too new, too not real. No. Now, I even looked up, on the internet, top fictional cowboy characters, and they had Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Those are real guys. Weren't those real guys? Now, I'm sure how they were portrayed was fictitious, but McClintock was one. There's Lindsay said it right there. Somebody said Woody from Toy Story. Two of my favorites were Woody from Toy Story and Yosemite Sam. Those are good fictional cowboys. Josie Wales, Hoss Cartwright. Tom Donovan, played by John Wayne on The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, playing opposite Jimmy Stewart as, can you beat an old-time Western name like this? Ransom Stoddard. If I had a name like Ransom Stoddard, I would not be as single as I am right now. Anyway, Lone Ranger, did I say him? Rooster Cogburn on True Grit. Hey, I'll go with John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn. I'll go with Jeff Bridges as Rooster Cogburn too, because I like the new True Grit. Fill your hands, you sons of bitches. That was so good. What about, it was on TV last night, what about both Magnificent Seven movies? Yul Brynner as Chris Adams in the first one, and Denzel as Sam Chisholm. That was good. I watched it last night. Sam Elliott as anybody. That would be good. Somebody, let's see. Would love to keep watching, but getting ready to load horses in Caldwell. I'll take that as a compliment that you watched us. There's some good ones. Lash LaRue and Hopalong Cassidy. Kevin Costner and Dances with Wolves. That's one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. Would he be considered a cowboy in that? By the end, I guess. That's it. Yeah. How about Brett Maverick, James Garner? Yeah, I know. This one was popular. Woodrow Call and Augustus McCrae. Yeah. I think they're based on characters, but I don't think they're true. I don't know. Like I said in my video, we're going to find out who's creative and who knows the word fictional. Because somebody said Lane Frost. Real guy. Here was a good one. John Grady, played by Matt Damon on All the Pretty Horses. I know. Interesting. Somebody finally said it. Maybe this should have won. Sonny Steele on Electric Horseman. Yeah, Robert Redford. I know. Boss Spearman, played by Robert Duvall on Open Range, opposite Kevin Costner, movie filmed in Alberta, southern Alberta. But yeah. How about on How about Walt Longmire? Longmire, who's we know as TV, but those are that's based on a series of books. Just like the Sacketts, you could go there. Jay Linderman throws out Bill in the Will James book, The American. I got one that's literature. You got my book cover? Here, My Grandma Bessie. It had it's kind of a leather-bound book. She bought me this for my birthday one year before my grandma passed away. Grandma Bessie bought me Louis L'Amour, Flint. How is that not the greatest cowboy of all time? There it is. I have that books in a store in a box. And it says, happy birthday. She'd always write note, Gram and Gramp. Gramp and Gram. And my Grandma Bessie, it's a brown leather one, and it just says Flint in gold lettering on it. And that's because he's the greatest fictional cowboy of all time. My brother Pete, I got to give shout out to my brother Pete here. Yeah, Quigley Down Under. Casey Ackerman, Crawl from Son-in-Law. Oh, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. My brother Pete cracking out music. Little Joe the Wrangler. Oh, I know. Here's the other one. Buster Jiggs and Sandy Bob tying knots in the devil's tail. How about that? Pete, Justice of the Pete coming through with some culture. Shane was a good one. Dude, Dean Martin in Rio Bravo. Dude, good one. See? Good stuff. You want, before I announce my winner, I'm going more obscure. Everybody, one popular one was, and I can admit right now, I don't watch every John Wayne movie. Like, I'm not big into old Westerns as much as some. There's one that is, you got to watch it every time. Will Anderson on the Cowboys. But my favorite character, Hardy Phimps. That's Hardy Phimps. Played by world champion team roper Clay O'Brien Cooper. That is Clay O'Brien Cooper playing Hardy Phimps. If you remember in the movie, he went into the school and asked for all these boys to drive cattle up to Miles City or wherever they're going. Belle Fourche. Yeah. Belle Fourche. And Hardy was too small. And he drew the line. He said, you come up here. And he drew the line and he was too short. And the other kids, when he walked out, and the chalkboard was on blocks and they put it down, he was taller. That's Clay O'Brien Cooper. I talked to Clay O'Brien Cooper about working with John Wayne once. He said that guy's a real cowboy. He said John Wayne was a cowboy. So Hardy's my bet. But Will Anderson, played by John Wayne. What about Mr. Nightlinger, the cook? Oh, yeah. And then Bruce Dern. Bruce Dern. Why does it always have to be the good guy? Bruce Dern. Oh, long hair. His name was Longhair. That's it. Anyway. But today's winner. Paladin? Oh. Richard Boone and Paladin. There's so many. Have gun will travel. There you go. There's so many. But today's winner is, we'll throw it up, Jolynn Neal. Oh, by the way, Casey, I forgot to send this to you. So I'll send it to you after. Jolynn Neal, I love what she says. Thanks for making me research to find most of my favorite cowboys were indeed based sometimes loosely on real people. I love that she said that. Woodrow, Gus, Matthew Quigley, among others. based loosely on real people. My favorite fictional cowboy would still have to be Jim Craig from The Man from Snowy River. She wins because I agree. I tell my girls, it's an older movie, but you got to watch Man from Snowy River. He's not afraid of hard work, speaking his mind, admitting his mistakes. And the ride as he chases the mob down the mountain is arguably the greatest horsemanship ever seen in a movie, and he doesn't die. I will agree that some of the horsemanship in Man from Snowy River, and I drove up through those mountains where that was filmed in Australia. And Jim Craig is one of my favorite characters. And I did forget, somebody just said J.W. Coop and Junior Bonner. Those were rodeo cowboys on the movies. You can't go wrong there also. But Jolynn Neal, Jim Craig, Man from Snowy River. And that you tugged at my heartstrings on that one. You are my Cooper Tires fan of the week. There you go. Look at us going 45 minutes today. Hey, thanks to everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully, we are all in this room doing a little rain dance for everybody who needs rain, wherever you may be. We are hoping for rain in Montana. The temperature is dropping fast. Highs in the 50s, 60s tomorrow, which is a refreshing break from the 90s and 100s that we have had. Still thinking about our friends down there on the Northern Cheyenne res, southeast of Billings, where it's been burning up to about 170,000 acres. That's a big fire, folks. And whatever's getting us from California and Oregon, we hope they get some rain up there too. This week in Nashville, Tennessee, watch for us on CBS Sports Network and the 1515 on CBS. Thanks for being great fans, rodeo fans, PBR fans, and fans of our show. Flint, that's Bo, Logan, David, who we shove over in the corner because he's kind of the boss. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for all the great answers and the great interactions. It's been a great night. Thanks. See you next time.